Everybody want me to ask this, kid. Are you gonna stop Tank Davis? They want to see you and Tank Davis, nigga. I gotta be honest.
Word?
Davis versus Davis, niggas want to see that, bro.
Man, that's up to Tank. Dude, Tank want to see it for himself.
TN has been adamant on getting a fight with Tank, demonstrating his great will to prove that he is among the finest boxers. He doesn't hesitate to change things up and make it happen, always demonstrating the will to succeed.
Davis, Keyshawn, this new guy, he's 140 pounds. He's not bad.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Davis. That's him right there, isn't it?
Ooh, no, I thought he was.
Ooh, there we go right here.
Even though Kays is focused on facing WBO champion Dennis, SBCK, on February 14th, he can't help but mention Tank in every interview and at every chance. Tank's remarkable victory over...
I would prefer Tank Davis, the top guy. I would go for the top guy. If I could choose, I would choose Tank Davis. I would not Tank short out.
Even though Kays is focused on facing WBO champion Dennis, SBCK, on February 14th, he can't help but mention Tank in every interview and at every chance. Tank's remarkable victory over Gustavo Lamos in the second round made it obvious that Tank is his true target. At a press conference, Barron stated, "I respect you as a champion, but Tank is who I want." Kesson knew Tank was aware of his challenge, and when they recently crossed paths outside the ring, Tank called him out at the airport report. Tank, as usual, didn't take Kesson seriously and didn't think he was worth his time. But Kesson wasn't going to let Tank ignore him, telling Tank to run from me. When Kesson went close to Tank, things nearly turned heated, but security intervened to defuse the situation.
Around the world, I didn't see it all. I didn't see him. You know what I mean? I had been in the ring with him a couple of times. So, I mean, again, I know what I can do. I know what God blessed me with. And, you know, it always turns out in great fights when people always got you as the underdog.
Keyshawn's rise in boxing has been amazing, with an unbeaten record of 12 wins, 8 of them by knockout, showing his great talent. He has beaten experienced fighters like Jose Pedraza and Francesco Patera, proving his skill and determination to succeed at the highest level. But despite all his achievements, it's Tank Davis who is always on his mind, and he's not afraid to make that known. On the other hand, Tank has mostly stayed quiet about Keyshawn's constant challenges. He claims he has bigger things to focus on and doesn't want to engage with what he calls loud noise. However, this hasn't stopped Kesson. For him, this fight is personal.
Hey, for that other southpaw on the other side of the street, this is an example for you. But I probably can do you a little earlier than that. You and Earl keep saying this, that, and third. I want to fight, but y'all calling out other fighters. Why is that? I want to fight you. I want to fight you. You feel me? If you want to fight, let me know, because I want to fight.
After defeating Leos, Kesson asserted that Tank had been hiding behind his team and his record. "I'm right here, I'm not going anywhere, he knows I'll bring the fight to him, and that scares him," he said. This is a bold statement, especially in light of Tank's impressive record of 30 wins and 28 knockouts. Tank has established himself as one of the sport's most dangerous fighters, with his powerful punches and quick counterattacks, winning world titles in several divisions. Despite this, Kesson isn't afraid. He sees himself as the sport's future, and he believes Tank is the only thing standing in his way. Their rivalry has drawn attention from fans and experts, with many believing that Tank is under pressure from Kesson's persistence. To respond, as Tank has mostly disregarded him, the airport incident has just intensified their argument, and Kesson is making every effort to ensure that this altercation is unavoidable.
Becomes unavoidable.
I didn't watch it, but I saw it was an early knockout. You know, he come out sharp and put the man to sleep. You know, so you know he is next up. He's going to be a great fighter.
He's calling for Tank. Now
he beats Tank.
Yeah, you think so?
Keyshawn Davis beats Tank, in my opinion. I believe to give him a good
K's upcoming title fight against Barron in February is a significant step for him. A victory would earn him his first world title and bolster his case for a big fight with Tank. Despite the impending Barron fight, Kesson never lets up in interviews, bringing up Tank and saying that it's not a question of whether or not they will fight, but when his confidence stems from his belief in his own abilities. He says, "I've got the skills, the speed, and the mindset to beat him." Tank has been in some difficult fights, But he's never faced someone like me. He can't run forever. Tank, on the other hand, has remained largely silent, allowing his actions to speak for themselves. But his relentless pursuit is making he finds it more difficult to remain silent.
Or, I feel like Tank is the type of fighter where he'll either be offensive first, or he's very, 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 very patient, and then just try to catch you slipping. You know what I'm saying? And certain fighters, it's just smart, So I just think,
Fans are beginning to question why Tank hasn't replied to Kasson's inquiries about if he is avoiding the fight. Kasson wants people to keep asking these questions because he is playing the long game, and the more attention he draws to this rivalry, the more difficult it will be for Tank to ignore him. Although the lightweight division is full of talented fighters, Kasson believes he is the one who can bring something new. His combination of skill, power, and charisma makes him a star in the making, and he is doing everything in his power to ensure the fight goes as planned. Kasson has already demonstrated that he can back up his words with action. The world is aware of it.
Contract, but if you don't, I'm gonna be just as popular fighting you or not fighting you. I'm gonna make my money fighting you or not fighting you. So don't get it twisted like I'm chasing after you. I'm not chasing you. Little dude, little dwarf, Oopa Loopa, little light-skinned dude. I'm not chasing you.
Tank remains silent regarding his next move, while you by remaining vocal and ensuring that their rivalry remains prominent. Kasson is employing a clever tactic that has previously worked for other fighters. By maintaining pressure, Kasson not only creates anticipation for a possible battle, but also demonstrates his willingness to go to any lengths to ensure it occurs. Boxing thrives on rivalries, and Keyshawn versus Tank has all the makings of a classic. A young, hungry challenger pits the seasoned champion against the quiet behemoth. It's a battle of personalities and eras that fans are eager to witness for the time being. Keyshawn faces a formidable opponent in Baron. Yet even as he gets ready for his first attempt at a global championship, one name, Davis, is at the forefront of his thoughts.
I want to fight him, bro, because he been tricking the boxing game for too long. He been tricking the boxing game for too long. He makes shit look good. He make the shit look better than what it is. Resume what? What kind of resume he got? He no fucking resume, man. He don't got no resume, man.
If the recent meeting at the airport is any indication, the rivalry is far from done. Peasant's message is clear. He's not going away and won't stop until Tank enters the ring with him. Fans are growing more enthusiastic as Keyshawn continues his goal, and it will only be a matter of time until Tank responds. Eddie Hearn has discussed the route Keyshawn must follow in order to have a chance at the WBA lightweight champion title. Davis Hearn thinks that in order for Keyshawn to be eligible to compete against Tank, he must first fight and overcome Andy Cruz of Cuba, who has already defeated him multiple times in amateur competition, including at the 2020 Olympics. According to Hearn, Keyshawn has been taking shortcuts by taking on opponents who are fresh off defeats or poor performances rather than taking on the division's true dangers. However, Keyshawn's most recent victory over Gustavo Lemos was excellent. Hearn does not believe it indicates that he is prepared for Tank. Hearn feels that this type of matchmaking doesn't fool anyone. Although Kazan's record of 120 with 8 knockouts is impressive, it doesn't include the quality wins required to be in the same conversation as someone like Tank. Lemos, who lost to Richardson Hitchens earlier in the year, was the ideal opponent for Keyshawn to look good against. Hearn acknowledges Kazan's talent, but asserts that he must demonstrate his mettle by taking on more difficult opponents like Cruz without that Hearn's help. Feels Keyshawn hasn't yet demonstrated his ability to handle.
Think about hey, you been knowing me though. I'm just getting to know you, sir.
I don't know shit about you.
They been knowing me. I'm just getting to know you, sir. You know I've been staying no business.
I ain't know who you was.
I've been staying no business. This what I've been doing.
On this business.
Boy, you since the Olympics, since before the Olympics, I bet you been knowing what I've been doing, right?
I ain't even know
stop
you was.
playing with me, bro. Been knowing what I've been doing.
Hearn added that although thrilling, Ken's victory over Lemos didn't indicate that he was prepared for Tank. Hearn views it as a misfortune for Kessin to actually demonstrate his abilities against a fighter at his best, as Lemos had just suffered a defeat and wasn't the same man who had faced Richardson Hitchens earlier in the year. Kessin did what he had to do, knocking Lemos out in the 3rd round. Hearn thinks Kess should stay away from bouts like this and take on more formidable opponents if he wants to demonstrate that he is prepared for the top of the division.
So I don't think it was the same Lemos that fought Richardson Hitchens, but I think that's irrelevant. He demolished him. And that's what you got to do sometimes. You got to go in there. The crowd looked great in Norfolk, Virginia. It's great for boxing. Keyshawn's a great young fighter. And in time, I think he'll be a great fight for Gervonta Davis. But he's still...
Hearn is currently concentrating on Andy Cruz, the Cuban combatant who has defeated Kessin 4 times in amateur competition. Hearn thinks it is impossible to overlook this mark on Cass's record. Cruz has never defeated Andy Cruz and has demolished Kessin in their previous meetings, including a decisive victory in the Olympic finals. Hearn emphasized to the public that Kessin still has unresolved business in the amateur ranks before advancing to battle elite professionals like Tank. Davis is certain that Kessin cannot bypass Cruz if he intends to seriously pursue a world championship.
Oh my God. Oh
Eddie.
my God.
I'm in here watching football now, Eddie.
Listen. You know I got love for you, but oh my God.
Yeah.
Make sure you never fight Andy Cruz.
Eddie, come on now, Eddie.
I'm a big Keyshawn Davis fan. I'm a big Keyshawn Davis fan.
Hey, and I always got love.
Hearn, it's that easy. Before attempting to win a title against someone like Tank, Kessin must demonstrate that he can defeat the man who has already defeated him several times. It's about taking charge and demonstrating that he belongs at the top, not about avoiding difficult confrontations. Hearn notes that trainers or other combatants are not required to vouch for Cruz's supremacy against Kessin. If Kessin wants a bout before Tank, it's evident from the record books that Khan's defeats of Cruz are well documented and accessible to everyone. Davis, the message is clear. Kessin must confront Cruz and beat him if he so desires. Hearn says, sign us up for Andy Cruz. He has already defeated Kessin 4 times and is prepared to do it again. Being regarded seriously as a Tank challenger without any claim to a title shot is meaningless in Hearn's eyes as he travels home with Kessin.
See, the thing is with Tank, who I think is a brilliant fighter, right? So exciting, very heavy-handed. He loses a lot of rounds, right? He lost rounds against Frank Martin. He lost rounds against Ryan Garcia. He lost rounds against Pitbull Cruz. And these are all guys that aren't on the same level as Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson.